Hey, hey, I'm Maxine Drake, and I am here with the one and only Mike Michalowicz, best-selling author of Profit First. And guess what, guys? He is doing a class inside the Inner Circle, the Esthetician Inner Circle, and I'm opening up this class to the public, and that means you are invited. So, Mike, thank you. Thank
Maxine,
you for
thank you for having me. Can't wait for the event.
We always have so much fun. I have to just say, just before we dig into some really fun questions,
Yeah,
you completely over delivered in that last class.
thank you.
I mean,
I,
knocked it out of the park.
I get a little jacked up because I believe in small business more than anything, and I think I can't remember if I said on that event, but I remember this or I feel this. I was saying for the longest time that small business is the backbone of the economy, and I now regret saying that because it's not true. Small business is the economy. Like that's how big we are.
Yeah.
We're everything to this economy. And with all this crap that's going on, we are not in the Great Recession. We're in the Great Reinvention. That's 2020 and now 2021. And it's small businesses. It's the estheticians of the world. It's the retail stores. It's the restaurants that there's an obligation for us to reinvent ourselves, to serve our community in perhaps a slightly adjusted way, in a new way, but we have to march forward. And it's bizarre because the world punched us in the face. Like 2019, we're like, oh, everything's hunky dory, like it's okay, business. And all of a sudden, we get cold cocked by the global economy and pandemic and so forth. And now the world who punches us in the face is like, can you also save me? So that's why I'm so fired up about this event.
Yes, and they are too. And estheticians of the world. Do you remember when we were getting all the memos at the beginning of last year, like don't touch your face? Don't touch your face, remember? And I'm like, okay, well, we're in the business of touching other people's faces.
Yeah.
Yay. So they're going to be happy to hear from you. So what can these beauty industry professionals expect from the Profit First class that we're going to do on March 8th?
Yeah. So what you can expect is a way to achieve permanent profitability. And not just like, one day in the future. I mean, by the end of the presentation, you'll be able to achieve permanent profitability. And I know that's like a bold statement, but I'm proud to say, as of this morning, we have over 500,000 businesses. We just breached the 500,000 mark of businesses that implemented Profit First. And they all are more profitable than ever before. And the reason is they're following the system in a gradual and growing method. So by the end of the event, it's not a get rich quick. It's not like, oh, you're going to walk out and it's like, I'm a millionaire now, but you'll have the path to become a millionaire. And by that next morning, you'll be able to have the first profit allocation assembling in your business, building up. And it may be a small amount, but you'll get the momentum going. So my commitment is permanent profitability for everyone that attends and takes action on what I share.
Yeah, taking action, so key, so key.
Right.
So do you think that there's a sense of urgency at this time of our, what's going on in the world?
Effing yes. Is that appropriate? Yeah. There is an urgency. There's not a panic, and that's different. An urgency means that we can take immediate action, decisive action that'll have a long-term important impact on our business. Desperation is where we just do the next thing just because that's the only thing we can see, but it causes a continual spiral of problems. There's an urgency to take deliberate action that will move us forward and repeat that process over and over again. And it's important to distinguish that. The mistake that people make is the manana syndrome, though. That's the one thing we can't do is the manana syndrome and say, well, I'll just put this off. I learned a lot, but this is a lot of stuff. I'm going to wait on this one for another few months, which then becomes a few more years. And we stay stuck in this panic. So there's an urgency to take immediate action, decisive action, but it's a small step, very small step. If you take that small step, it starts the positive momentum and you'll become permanently profitable. So yeah, it's urgent.
It is. I love it. And it's like urgency, not an emergency. So I love how you kind of
That's correct.
that. And so what do you think will happen to businesses if they don't implement the Profit First system? And this,
So what happens to businesses that don't implement Profit First is they continue to do what they've been doing. So the question is, how's that serving you? And there are some businesses say, I've been profitable and things are good. They don't need Profit First. Sadly, the majority of businesses that come to me, and it's no surprise, they discover profit first. The reason they discover is because they're struggling. And when they don't do it, they go back to the way it was. And the way it was this: oh my gosh, we're in trouble financially. I can't pay bills next week. I better sell more today. Panic to sell. We sell a little bit more, but sure enough, next week there's more bills. We can't keep up. It's this constant hand to mouth. So if you experience hand to mouth or check to check in your business, or if you find that you're selling and growing, but there's nothing left over, profit first will serve you. The risk of not doing profit first, in my humble opinion, is you're going to revert back to check, urgent, panic, emergency circumstances.
Right, right, right. No, that's, yeah, so true. And I think that there's also like this misconception of like, oh my gosh, this is going to be a heavily like spreadsheet class.
Right. Accounting.
Right. And it's really more about human behavior.
Yes.
It really.
So I got to share a little anecdote. I'm so jacked up here. So I wanted to start. Oh, there, look at that. I wanted to start exercising regularly, and I achieved it 7 years ago. I work out 5 days a week, do not miss. It wasn't because I had this, Navy SEAL discipline. What it was I intercepted my behavioral path. Here's what I did. I always knew exercise was important, but what I would do is I wake up in the morning, go to the bathroom, lumber over, get some coffee, start reading the news, and say, I gotta work out. I'm like, oh my gosh, the day's getting away. I have to get to work, and I wouldn't work out. But when I looked at the path I followed, get up, go to the bathroom, it was right there. I could set up a behavioral intercept. What I did was I put my sneakers on top of my toilet seat, to my wife's chagrin, but I did do that. And when I would go to the bathroom now, the only way I could use the toilet is to put my gym shoes on. The second they're on, it's like, oh, I have them on, go exercise, and I get the process going. What I found with my fiscal fitness, my finances, is I was logging into my bank account to see how much money I had. I had money, I'd spend it. If I didn't, I'd panic and try to sell something. But the fact was my behavioral path was always go to the bank account first, just like always go into the bathroom. And therefore, we got to put our sneakers there. What we do with Profit First, and I'll explain at the event, is we got to set up multiple accounts to pre-allocate money to its intended use. Next time some money comes in, $1,000, whatever, I used to say I have $1,000 to spend, but now I know that $1,000 is available specifically for, maybe some for profit, maybe some for paying my salary, some for taxes, and then the residual, maybe it's $400, is to operate the business. By pre-allocating money to its intended use, we continue that behavior of logging to our bank account, but now our bank tells us what to do with that money. So Profit First is a behavioral system. It uses behavioral intercepts. Don't worry, it's not accounting. You don't have to be good with numbers. I suck at them myself. It's all about managing our behavior.
I love it. And I just love, and you build momentum. You get excited. Yes. Like what I'm excited about is on March 8th, and you're going to learn how to become profitable immediately after that class. And it's just going to build that momentum. So what can happen to a business if they do implement? We already talked about what's going to happen if they don't.
Yeah.
Continue that cycle. So what would happen to a business if they do implement this?
Yeah, well, there's almost a predictable path. Like I told you, 500,000 plus businesses now have done this. Not all of them have reported to us, but we have thousands of case studies. And I would say 2-3 emails an hour, maybe 4 emails an hour from someone implementing Profit First. So I get upwards of like 50 to 60 emails a day of people just sharing, hey, I read your book. This is what's happening to me. So I know in generally what happens. First thing is this: the sense of confidence returns almost immediately. That's probably the biggest thing is people say, I was so scared to look at the numbers. I would avoid the bills. They were piled up on my desk. I was constantly panicked. I never thought I could get out of this. I didn't want to look. And they said, just by implementing Profit First, no, I didn't have tons of money all of a sudden, by tons of clarity. My confidence is back. I know I can chip away at this. It's so easy. So that's the first thing is confidence. It'll come back quickly. The second thing is you'll feel your business speak to you. What I mean is the next time you're looking to make an expenditure or you're considering the prices to charge for the different services you offer or any of those types of decisions, you'll have an accounting, not with accounting, but you'll have bank accounts telling you what money is available for what purpose. And you'll start hearing your business say, don't have enough money to spend there, don't spend it, be innovative, or you need to increase prices to have a higher margin. So your business speaks to you. Then the long-term benefit usually kicks in within about 3 months. you start doing profit distributions. So you take your first profit distribution, and maybe it's not going to be huge, probably some money. It's like, oh my gosh, for the first time ever, my business has given me money. I'm not running up a credit card bill. I'm not using the company's expense account. I simply have money here gifted to me effectively by the business. And that's when things start really cranking up, and people say, ooh, what if I do more of this? What if I reserve more money toward profit?
Mhm.
In a year, 2 years, for almost all people that implement profit first, they've achieved things they've never had before. Quarterly profit distributions every single quarter. They're taking home more money for themselves. And this is the crazy part. And their business is growing faster than they expected. Because so many people say it takes money to make money. I can't have profit. I need to spend it to grow. And the reality is, the best way to grow is by being profitable, because it channels your business to make prudent decisions, control costs, spend effectively, stuff that you can amplify, price accordingly. And without taking your profit first, we just spend everything we have and we stay stuck in that mire.
Yeah, yeah, so true, so true. Well, on just a final note, I'm super excited about the March 8th class that's happening at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, because Mike Michalowicz is going to cover the Profit First formula as it pertains to beauty industry. So there's going to be some golden nuggets that are exclusive to our industry that you can take away right then and there. So thank you so much, Mike.
Thank you. I can't wait till March 8th.
It's going to be fun. All right. Oh, wait, one quick question. Can I put you on the spot?
Yeah, put me on the spot.
When was your last facial?
You want to know how long ago it was? 49 years ago. And that's when the doctor looked at me and just slapped me in the face. No, I've never had a facial. I've never had a facial. What's
Okay.
my problem,
I don't
Maxine?
know, but you might get a little feedback on that saying, hey, Mike,
Mike,
you gotta be camera ready.
yeah, yeah. You know what? I love to get that feedback too. And if someone's, yeah, I like to get that feedback, because I think it's time I improve this face.
You have a great face. Are you kidding? We love all of your goofy photos that you post and all of that. But it's, self-care is important. And
Totally, totally.
massages and facials are like a normal thing, like working out in Europe. It's not quite here yet, but more and more men are indulging in facial services.
Yeah, maybe you can find me a local vendor, because I am seriously, sincerely interested.
I know, you should be. All right. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
All right.